10,000 jobs lost during pandemic. Western Province reports 8 new cases. And Customs Commissioner says checks done.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Seah.
Good evening and thank you for joining us for Saturday's news. Over 10,000 people have lost their jobs in Papua New Guinea in the last 6 months as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This was revealed by the Public Employees Association of PNG in a recent media conference. The effect of unemployment is taking its toll on those who have lost their jobs and their families as COVID-19 cases climb gradually.
Papua New Guinea's unemployment rate was at 2.4% in 2019, according to the Trading Economics website. And according to Trading Economics global macro models and analysts' expectations, the unemployment rate in PNG is expected to reach 2.5% at the end of 2020. This is mainly due to the COVID-19 crisis, and the Public Employees Association of PNG has shown great concern over this, urging the government to be seriously considerate of such issues when making policies.
No consideration was given to the economy. No consideration was given to humanity. No consideration about our democratic rights. When state of emergencies and lockdowns are coming out from the state. Who is advising the government? Who is advising the government on how to manage through crisis, how to manage during pandemics? We've hurt our economy. Our people are suffering out there. Markets are closed. Informal sector is to a standstill. The private sector is to a standstill. People have lost 10,000 plus jobs.
Being unemployed can be very challenging in a modern-day PNG home, particularly in an urban setting where family expectations are high. Lazarus Toa has voluntarily helped numerous individuals over recent years in the country to secure employment based on his life experience and knowledge of current job market trends and expectations.
If you are not employed, sometimes it's really difficult. Your family, sometimes they won't really want to accept you, or they will see you as a liability.
Although employers in Papua New Guinea have been forced to lay off or terminate certain employees due to the mounting pressure created by the state of emergency and lockdown periods in recent months, Mr. Toa, who recently received a PNG Man of Honor award for helping people get jobs, pleads for employers not to terminate employees given the rippling effects this has on families.
The employers, please do not terminate your employees during this time. You can just give them leave without pay for this period. Until everything goes back to normal, they can go back to their job. But do not, at this stage, please do not terminate. They're not causing anything wrong that you will be terminating them. This situation is beyond their control, your employees' control, and also as an employer too, you have no control over this.
The International Labour Organization has reported that over 20 million jobs have been lost globally during the COVID-19 pandemic so far. And over 10,000 of these job losses have been in PNG. Workers in the tourism sector of the country have been affected severely, with international border restrictions still in place and some restrictions placed on hotels, restaurants and popular holiday destinations.
People have been shed, meaning they've lost their jobs, they're out there. Who's putting bread and butter on the table of those people? So for Papua New Guinea, our indication of figures from labor departments, around 10,000 plus jobs have been lost during April to now.
Dennis Orere, National MTV News.
The effects of COVID-19 on the economy were yet again questioned on the floor of Parliament yesterday, this time by member for Nuku Open Joe Sungi, with a series of questions directed at Treasurer Ian Lingstaki.
As PNG is slowly getting up to speed with the new normal, impacts of COVID-19 has had a major overhaul on the economy. This ripple effect has seen too many businesses being affected, delivery of services cut back, as well as the disruption of education for many nationwide. Nuku MP fired another round of questions regarding the state of the economy, asking Treasurer Ian Lingstaki to table a comprehensive report on the effects of COVID-19 on the economy in this sitting of Parliament.
Can you, from your office, your highest office as the Treasurer of this country, give us a brief overview and also give us the update on the actual effect on COVID-19 on the general economy of Papua New Guinea.
Acknowledging the words of Nuku MP, Treasurer Lingstaki expounded, highlighting also in his response to the MP the economy forecast and its estimates.
Over 90% of our businesses operate, over 90% of our people are employed. It's been pretty bad. It's been pretty bad. The two worst hit sectors have been the transport and storage, as well as the accommodation and food retail sectors.
Adding that if in any consolation the compound effects of COVID-19 worldwide as opposed to the countries, PNG is seen to be doing well.
This year's budget, we had forecast real GDP to grow by 2% this year. As a result of COVID-19, that's now been revised down to negative 3%. So if it's a consolation where the impacts of COVID-19 on the world's economy is about half as bad in Papua New Guinea. Thank you.
The Treasurer's response and a supplementary question from the opposition leader, Belden Lama, who called the government out on the borrowing of funds and for the audited report of the COVID-19 funds to be revealed on the floor of Parliament in the current sitting.
Mr. Speaker, we continue to blame the COVID-19 or the coronavirus pandemic. This government has borrowed more money than any other government in the history of our country.
Not conveying much, the Treasurer responded, highlighting that the total funds warranted to the Department of Health was approved by Cabinet.
You've been a bit confused, so I would like to give you advice. Perhaps you should direct your question to the appropriate portfolio that administers those funds. Thank you, Leader of the Opposition.
Annette Cora, National MTV News.
Papua New Guinea has confirmed 8 new cases of COVID-19 as of yesterday, all from Western Province. This brings the total confirmed cases to 479. The new cases are from the Ok Tedi Mining Limited. 1 case has fever and cough and 7 are asymptomatic. Today, 12 of the country's 22 provinces had reported positive cases. The death toll for PNG remains at 5 and the recovery is at 232. The total number of tests pending laboratory results is 240. Customs Commissioner Ray Paul says all vehicles and machineries entering the country go through customs checks. When asked about the discovery of unregistered vehicles and machineries at a number of logging sites in Northern Province.
Any imports that come into this country is cleared by customs. That our role is just to clear the cargo at the borders, period. If we see that there's illicit goods that come in without being cleared, we as signal our people will go and check on that. Every cargo that comes in, from dust to caterpillar, we have a tariff heading item number for all of that. And we get to clear all of them that comes. It's a big boat when it comes in. It will not just go past customs to go in. And every cargo that comes out of that side to be exported, our people also process that also to go out. So that's my response to that. Yeah, but if you have information on that, please do share. Our team are working also on that one, on the request that was shared by our Oro provincial government, and we are working on that to look into that also. Yes.
And you're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more after these messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Climate Change and Development Authority, in partnership with UNDP, facilitated an inception workshop yesterday. Their aim is to help stakeholders understand the revision process of PNG's Nationally Determined Contribution, or NDC. The NDC are submissions that provide an overview of PNG's emissions profile within the national context. It will be submitted to the United Nations Convention on Climate Change before the end of this year.
Stakeholders including the government, private sector, education and research institutions gathered yesterday to gain a fair understanding of the Nationally Determined Contribution, or NDC. Under the Paris Agreement, NDCs must be submitted every 5 years, so updated NDCs are required in 2020, 2025 and 2030.
And under the Paris Agreement, the NDC is one of the most important component in the Paris Agreement or article. The commitment will address the 1.52 degrees level to try to reduce the CO2 in each country.
These submissions give an overview of PNG's emissions profile within the national context. Nationally determined contributions identify opportunities for emissions reductions across key areas, specifically electricity generation.
Guinea we always talk about Papua New Guinea being a special or a unique country, and that's true. What's often forgotten about is not just the diversity, but also the climate exposure that it actually has.
The outlined goals and targets sit within a broader national policy framework that targets a 50% reduction in emissions by 2030 and carbon neutrality by 2050. The immediate process of revising the NDC provides an opportunity to support collaboration amongst government agencies and increase mutual understanding amongst government, industry, and the community for top priority actions.
Climate change will take a holistic approach, and that's the beauty of the SDG 13 roadmap that was launched 2 weeks ago.
The current assessments, while showing great progress, are challenged by limited and conflicting data and information. Questions regarding this were brought up through panel discussions. There will be a couple more workshops on the technicalities of this document in the coming months before it is submitted to the United Nations Convention on Climate Change.
To protect and conserve the vast resources, we must take some immediate steps now.
Lillian Sopera Kenea, National EMTV News.
A coffee group in Okapa district in the Eastern Highlands province is now empowered to kickstart its first housing project. Henagaro Village Development Cooperative is now ready to embark on its housing project. The farmers were presented a brand new Lucas Mill in Henagaro Village by SMU Korea. The presentation was witnessed by the Coffee Industry Corporation team, led by Industry Operations Manager Stephen Tumai and others. The community wants to fulfill its plan to change the community through its housing project.
Mi plastar plo disla bikam na true lo you SMU team bosem you kam osem na you sim spla service kam lo mi plo disla community osem you sim housing kuna house lo hand lo mi pla na you sim spla white plus something kam lo plus lo mi pla
You lo paneer coffee, you lo lugotim honeybee, you lo walking bulb onion, you lo walking vanilla, you lo walking plan something like you money stop lo giram bro you pla. You know need lo ba ilo ko roka town. Time you make something come out successful. And me money here, me come here. SMU come here, CSC come here. Or not to come no. Help him you yet.
Agriculture Minister John Simon has summoned the Oil Palm Industry Corporation Board to settle outstanding issues within the board. A disgruntled minister took a swipe at the board for acting beyond court orders and for failing to consult his office. He's also looking at the option of filing contempt proceedings against the board.
Agriculture Minister John Simon claims all processes involved in appointing the new chairman of OPIC board, Patrick Reau, was all flawed.
The court said it under section order number 5 and 6. I can remember very clearly. It said the board goes back and quickly within 7 days the board needs to sit. And board sits and make recommendation to the minister, who now will appoint. But the minister, and then we will take it to cabinet to get a point. But what they did was, under the advice of the so-called Francis Tapatuna, was causing a lot of instability in the sector and ill-advising everyone. And they went ahead and they've appointed the chairman.
He is also concerned that an unauthorized person has been defaming him on social media and conducting business pretending to be working for OPIC without being formally recognized by the minister.
You cannot bring an appointment to me to sign. You make recommendations to me, and they have not done that. So when I refuse to sign, they're going all over Facebook and posting against me. I said, no, correct the issue. You make recommendations to me. That's what the court order said. And they're not willing to do that. And this Francis Taputuna, I don't know whose interest he's representing.
He is now calling on this person and the rest of the board members to meet him or face contempt charges.
He has to come and bring the whole board of OPIC with him and see me and we talk about this. Otherwise, the whole board is already in breach of the court order. If he doesn't come in and see me by Monday, I'll be going on public papers. And I will put out an advertisement that this person is on the run.
Simon says the oil palm industry is too big for a few people and called on members of the board to work with him, claiming they have never sought his help or advice and have done things in isolation, including the appointment of the new board with Patrick Reau as chairman. The new board was announced on the 21st of August. Ruth Rungula, National EMTV News.
And Chukai Sports is next. Kilawani will join you with the details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. Fairfax Volleyball, the reigning champs of 2019 national title, is looking at expansion plans. With the agenda of scooping raw talents in and around Central Province, the management has announced its first rural tournament, the Isoaimo Cup. While the proper season has resumed with time constraints due to the impact of COVID-19 lockdowns in the nation's capital, Fairfax Volleyball Association has bigger plans rolling out. The 2019 national title holders are set to host a tournament, the first of a few planned for this year. The inaugural rural tournament is sponsored by the member for Kairukuhiri.
Hosting a tournament down at Tubusere, dig out some of the good hidden talents in the local areas. So that's why we're hosting tournaments outside.
6 teams have been confirmed for the tournament, and the president says affiliation is open.
For each team is 250 kina, women's 250 and men's 250.
The tournament is set to run for 1 week.
The 14th of September, that will be our opening, and we'll be having our finals on the 17th. Our first prize will be 3,000 kina, that's for the women's team, and men's team 3,000 kina.
And second placing teams to take home 2,000 kina, while third placing to win 1,000 kina. This initiative is part and parcel of the association's endeavor in creating a pathway for raw talents in Central Province. And Chukai Sports ends there. Helen will be back with the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. Bye for now.
Chukai Sports.
True Kai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
I'll look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Fine but partly cloudy at times in Port Moresby. Mostly fine weather in Daru. Mostly fine, although partly cloudy in Kerma and Popondetta. And fine, although partly cloudy tonight with light morning showers in Alotau. In the Mamasa region, an occasional rain showers tonight and cloudy morning in Leh. Partly cloudy tonight with chances of early morning thundery showers in Midang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, occasional thundery rain showers tonight, easing to fine cloudy morning in Lorengau, Kavieng and Kimbe. Cloudy tonight with occasional thundery rain showers in Kokopo and Rabaul. Occasional rain showers tonight and a cloudy morning in Buka tomorrow. And in the Highlands region, light drizzles, then morning fog. Fine in Mount Hagen, Goroka and Kundiawa. Showers later, cloudy periods, easing into rain drizzles in Mendi and Wabek. A look at the strong wind warning for all coastal waters of southern PNG Indonesian border to Daru, to Yule Island, to Hood Point, to Samar Island, including all Milne Bay Islands to Cape Vogel, to Phi, and from Finschhafen through Vitiaz and Dampier Straits to Siasi and Long Island, to Karkar Island, to Manam Island, including the ocean waters of Coral and Solomon Seas and southwest Bismarck Sea. Strong southeast winds of 25 to 33 knots with gusts of 40 knots at times are expected to continue for the next 24 hours, causing rough seas. All small crafts and boats are advised to take necessary precautions before going out to sea, especially in the warning areas. Forecast for small crafts for the next 24 hours in the waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait to Daru, to Kerma, to Yule Island, to Hood Point and to Samar Island, seas of 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Waters of eastern and western Milne Bay Islands, including waters of Samarai Island, including East Cape to Cape Vogel, through Huon Gulf to Finschhafen, seas of 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Finschhafen through Vitiaz and Dampier Straits to Siasi and Long Islands, seas of 2 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Long Island to Karkar Island to Wewak to Aitape to the northern PNG Indonesian border, seas of 2 to 2.5 meters. Waters of Manus and its western group of islands, seas of 5 to 1.5 meters. Waters of New Ireland, East New Britain and Bougainville, seas of 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And waters of West New Britain, seas of 1.5 to 2.5 meters. A look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas in the Coral Sea. The seas very rough with southeast winds at 25 to 33 knots reaching 45 knots. In the Solomon Sea, seas moderate to rough with southeasterly winds at 15 to 25 knots reaching up to 33 knots. In the Bismarck Sea, seas moderate to patches rough with southeast winds at 15 to 25 knots reaching up to 33 knots with gusts of 45 knots. And in the Pacific Ocean, seas slight with southeast winds at 10 to 15 knots.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the way it is this Saturday, the 5th of September 2020. From all of us here at EMTV, pleasant viewing, be safe, and bye for now.